Я не знаю, что мне делать. Да, я посмотрю свои кассеты.
Come inside, take off your coat, I'll make you feel at home. Now let's pour a glass of wine, cause now we're all alone. I've been waiting all night, so just let me hold you close to me. Cause I've been dying for you, girl, to make love to me. Girl, you make me feel real good. We can do it till we both wake up. Girl, you know I'm hooked on you. And this is what I'll do. I wanna sex you up all night. I want to sex you up. Let me take off all your clothes. Disconnect the phone so nobody knows. Yeah. Let me light a candle so we can make it better. Making love until we drown. Dig. Girl, you know it feels real good. We can do it till we both wake up. Girl, you know I'm hooked on you. And this is what I'll do. Yeah. I wanna sex you up. Make it love until we drown. I wanna sex you up.
Oh, do you like my joke? Please, Constable, fill you up. Or feel. It's supposed to be feel. Yeah, Tess of the Turverville says brings a new meaning to being fingered by the police. We shouldn't joke and laugh, should we? We shouldn't joke and laugh because he wishes he could touch all the women, and now he can. You can. I can. Because anyway, I just want to look. I'm going to play you something in a minute. This is going to be fun today. So this is going to be fun. So way back, years ago, we talked about. I wonder if I've got it here because I've been talking about this since 20. I don't want to brag, but I've been talking about this a long time. Let me just see if it's. I don't think I've left it in here. I think I got rid of it the other day. Anyway, when I was on this morning back in 2018, I talked about the fact that the police could intimately search women. Look, I don't want to say I was ahead of the curve, but I was ahead of the curve. And now I know that Harry Miller and me, I think I was first. So I found this case about police. Can't remember. I was looking for something else. About police. And I stumbled upon this thing that you cannot find anymore. And I stumbled upon this case. And it was a male police officer who called himself a woman, had taken the police to court for his right to intimately search women. So to be recognized as a woman in every single aspect of his job. That's what he'd done. And I, because I'm always right and brilliant, and I had kind of been like, oh my God, can you believe? And this was from 2012, and he'd taken the police to court. And I've done another video where I've gone through all of this, right? I've done all of it. I've gone through all of it. Because as we know about most of these men,
I use public toilets and I piss on the seat.
Okay, so basically, I think I was looking about indecent exposure because I'd been on a chat with James O'Brien back in 2017. I think it was then. And he basically, I'd been looking up voyeurism, indecent exposure, how they would categorize, how the police would categorize these crimes. And I stumbled across this thing. And, thanks. Someone said Fair Cop have a page dedicated to me on the website. Of course they do, because I am the most interviewed person on the planet. And I was the first on this issue. So, anyway, so I came across this case and he'd taken them to court, and this was in 2012. And then police had in their guidance, in their PACE guidance, about it was up to individual police constables whether or not they allowed it, right? So it was up to each individual police constable to say whether or not they would permit a man who called himself a woman to be treated as a female officer in their police service force, whatever it's called. And so in 2020, I think it was, I did some research, and I will share this with you. So, oh, no, that's not what we're doing. Kellie-Jay, no, we're going to do this. So, here we are. So, it says here. So, this is what we did. I can't remember when it was. I'm sure there'll be a date on it somewhere. We did a report on the NHS and the police, and whether or not the police accommodation for the provision of female-only services. So things where single sex was required. We looked at 220 NHS trusts and 48 police services, and only 2% recognise the exception in the Equality Act 2010, where being of a particular sex is an occupational requirement, and were prepared to offer female-only services to those patients who made the request. So only 4 NHS trusts out of the 220. 0 police forces, right? 0 police services restrict those who identify as transgender from conducting intimate searches on females. 0. And I'm going to tell you what we asked, because I think that's quite important. So this is the NHS. How many members of the staff have a GRC? How many members of their staff? So this is what we asked both police and NHS, right? How many members of your staff have a gender recognition certificate? How many members of your staff identify as transgender whilst not holding a gender recognition certificate? Now, we asked the questions in this way because we wanted them answered. If the NHS trust or chief officer restricts medical practitioners or police officers with a GRC who are legally recognised as female from conducting intimate exams or searches on females, and if their trust or chief officer restrict any of the duties of medical staff or officers who identify as trans and who do not hold a GRC, right? So that's what we asked. We said, hey, everyone, do you care? And let me just make that bigger so you can see it. Is that better? Right. I'll just scroll up so you can see. These are the questions. 2021. So what you can see from that is that we wanted them to think that we were on the side of idiots. Okay? So that's what we asked. We asked those questions to those people. And I'm just going to scroll because this is all about the NHS, which is also important. So 19 police forces out of the 48 do not record who is or who doesn't identify as trans. 11 police forces didn't answer the question due to misinterpretations of freedom of information. Blah, blah, blah. 3 police forces claim they could not answer. Bullshit. Okay. So we looked at what the police and criminal evidence. PACE makes clear searches must be carried out by an officer of the same sex. The annexes, however, this becomes entirely muddled where gender overrides sex or is often confused with sex as a category. So that's what this comes about. Now, the reason I'm telling you this is because we keep doing this thing in this movement of being very pleased about things that don't really make any difference. So, look, don't get me wrong. Discussing the police having the capacity to sexually assault women, like encouraged to sexually assault women in the police force, raising that issue, whether it comes from kind of a bit of misinformation or whatever, it's always going to be a great thing. The fact that we're talking about this today, even if the story is not right, but the fact that we're talking about this today is great. Like, whenever we can talk about this and remind everyone that the police have the right to sexually assault you, is a good thing, right? It's a great thing. But it's also not true, what the point of the discussion. So the National Police Chief Constables, right? The most they can ever do is go, okay, that's great, guys. Yeah, let's all agree that we're going to offer some guidance. Like, what? That doesn't do anything. That doesn't do anything. You need the boss of all the police. You need the government to make the rule that police can't allow men who call themselves women to search females. In fact, I would argue, and I know that there's many a rational, reasonable intellectual that thinks I'm wrong about this. I would argue that if you want to pretend to be the opposite sex, then you don't have a job in the police force. You just fucking can't. If you can't be relied upon to tell the truth about who you are, how can you be relied upon to uphold the law? It just doesn't make any sense to me. So that's what we're talking about. We're talking about some people talking about, oh, it's been revived and oh, they are going to do it. They're not going to do it. Maybe they're going to do it. It's fuck all to do with the police chiefs as a national body. It's nothing to do with them whatsoever. It's in the guidance of every single police force. And it's the police chief constable there that makes a decision. Them sitting there and having a discussion on whether or not they would make a recommendation is totally bogus. Totally bogus. Doesn't make any difference whatsoever. Because, as I explained this morning, when you get to that sort of level of policing, you have kissed so many asses. You spent a long time. You might not have even ever been a police constable. You might not have ever spent any time on the beat. You might have come in as like a career policeman. And then you've got to this bit, and then you not only do you get to retire quite early, but you get a hefty fucking pension, like a delicious pension. And you get other things that, like, as police, there's other things that happen that are benefits of being a policeman, like a public servant. So I'm just saying that who's going to risk that by saying actually John is a man? When, I mean, after all, it's only some woman that he's going to sexually assault. Who gives a shit about them? It's just, it's just some random woman who's done something wrong, who's just going to get some policeman with his hands in his pants. And look, just like in the National Health Service, where there are thousands upon thousands of women watching these pervy men just get away with being perverts in the NHS and sexually assaulting women by pretending that they're women. Just as that happens, it happens in the police all the time. I literally met a policewoman who knew that, I think it was an inspector or a superintendent, came into work pretending he was a woman and would make excuses to go and talk to female suspects that he had no reason to go and talk to. What's that about? Power? Erections? Getting off on making a woman feel uncomfortable as in a position of power where she's totally powerless? Because that's what it feels like to me. So I'm just saying that if you want to change those policies, it's kind of futile to keep focusing on. I don't know what the point is. Focusing on this national police chiefs thing, as if it makes any difference. It really doesn't. And I think whilst you're distracted looking at that thing that doesn't make any difference, there are things that do make a difference. There's quite a lot that does make a difference. And while we're thinking about, well, what does it matter? Who are these men? Let me remind you who these men are.
Where you are able to offer help, where you are actually able to save life, was really important. And I'm still as passionate now as I was
He's actually got a new voice now.
21 years ago. Hi, I'm Sky. I'm PC Sky Morden, and I'm currently a tactical trainer and a taser lead instructor. The most important part of being a police officer, it's having empathy, even when...
It's fucking not. It's not. It's not. Can I just say, the most important part of being a police officer is solving crime. It's just incredible, right? But it is solving crime.
The world seems to be against you.
Imagine, been arrested, right? You've been arrested. And I don't know, let's say, I don't think this would ever happen. I mean, who am I? Let's say the police think that you've said some bad words online. And they think that maybe you've shoved some stickers down your pants to hide them. I mean, I'm not saying that they would ever do that. I'm just saying, let's say they did. The person that arrests you looks like him. He has every right to strip search you. Every right. I mean, not go inside your cavities. Maybe that might be a medic, but that also could be a bloke in a dress.
It's having that compassion. I'm trans. I've always known
No shit.
I'm trans, ever since I can remember.
He's a man!
Growing up, I just pretended to be someone I wasn't, and I hid myself away. Every time you see yourself in a mirror, every time you walk past a shop window,
You go, all right, Dave. All right, Dave.
you have this feeling of hate, this feeling of anger, of just that.
I can't. And now you can put helicopters on Mars, but you can't pretend I don't have a penis. So, or something like that. Anyway, I just wanted to say that because I think it's important. But hope is coming. Look, it's 1,589 days until potentially we end this shit. We end it. We stop it. We end it. Or we are resigned. We are resigned to giving up this country to men like him.
And did those feet in ancient times walk upon England's mountains green? And was the holy Lamb of God on England's desert pastures seen? And did the
off. Not gonna lie, I didn't realise just how many dodgy men were in that video. Anyway, it just struck me as funny today. I kind of feel like, you know, Jordan Peterson does that thing, like tidy your room. I sort of feel like at the moment, this country, I've just been for coffee in Frome, and there's a little fundraiser for the Palestine Solidarity something, and and Frome has got like a crumbling. I mean, it's quite a lovely place actually, but it just, I'll tell you what it reminded me of. I just feel like all of these marches and things just remind me of this. See if you can tell me.
There you are. Well, that's quite enough of that. And now, a local civic group reenacts a famous scene from history. This week, the Townsmen Guild of Sheffield.
This is what sometimes the rearranging of the deck chairs feels like, right? It's kind of like this grandiose thing that it's supposed to make us all feel good, but really it just reminds me of this. And I don't know how you feel about it, but that's, you know, when someone says, "Oh, it's so amazing that, you know, they've stopped women at the Garrett Club being just for men." It feels like this is the thing that I keep.
Miss Rita
turning
Fairbanks,
to.
you organised this representation of the Battle of Pearl Harbor. Why?
Well, we've always been extremely interested in modern works. We were the first Trans-Women's Guild to perform Camp on Blood Island.
You'll thank me. You will thank me.
And of
'cause
course,
it's
last year we did
lovely.
our extremely popular reenactment of Nazi war atrocities. So this year we thought we'd do something in a much lighter vein.
Well, I can see that you're all ready to go, so I just wish you good luck in your latest venture, the Battle of Pearl Harbor.
Thank you very much indeed, young man.
Sorry. Look, it's been on my mind. I thought I must find a reason to actually play that. Anyway, someone said stop putting up videos when I'm not looking. Sorry, I do apologize. Anyway, so here we have it. This is the thing. We've got 1,589 days to convince the United Kingdom that the Gender Recognition Act is shit. And also all politicians that the way to go is to actually get rid of it. Not half-baked crap ideas. We're not reenacting anything. We're trying to change things. And so that's what I want to do. I think it's the only thing to do. And if we don't do it, we really are screwed. So, sorry, someone keeps. There we go. Anyway, look. If you can speak the truth, even when maybe it's not great for you, then I promise we will win. If you can keep speaking the truth in all places and make sure you get your ticket for Aberdeen, then I promise we will win. And do you know why else we're going to win? Well, because I'm going to ruin everything. I never, so seamless, lose.
For I could swim Loch Lomond and be home in half an hour. Maybe the air gave me the drive, for I'm all aglow and alive. What a day this has been, what a rare mood I'm in. Why, it's almost like being in love. There's a smile